Hello everyone. Our today's concept is basic statistical descriptions of data. Basic, basic statistical descriptions of data can be used to identify properties of the data. So why are we using this basic statistical descriptions of data? It is used to identify the properties of the given data. So what is the data and what are the features or properties of data? To identify those kind of properties, here we are going to use a basic statistical descriptions. And also not only this, here and also to find out or to highlight the outliers and the noise of a given data. So what are the noise points are there within that given data, which are unrelated to our data, and what are the outliers of the are there within the data. We should identify by using these basic statistical descriptions. Here we are having three kinds of statistical methods. First one is measuring the central tendency. Second one is measuring the dispersion of data. And third one is graphical displays of base, basic statistical data. Let us see one by one now. With the first one, measuring of the central tendency. So this measuring of the here we can measure the central tendency by using many ways. The central tendency is calculated based on different measures. Okay, what are those? Those are, the first one is a mean. By using mean, we can calculate the central tendency of the data. And the first one is here mean. And what is mean? Mean is calculate the center of a set of data. What is the center point of the set of data? We can calculate by using a mean formula. Okay, let us consider the given values are x1, x2, x3 and so on xn. Here the n is the set of observed values, here. So what is the formula for equation for mean is mean equal to x bar, that equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n xi by n. Right. What is xi here? If you will take one column data in a given data set. For example, there is a data set. Within the data set, if you can take, if you want to calculate some, suppose for example, I mean, if you want to calculate the average of a particular column data, then what do you do here? You can add all the values of that column, then you can write by total number of values. Okay, so in the same manner, here you are going to calculate x1, x2, xn by n. For example, here you have some 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 by 4. Assume these are the x1, x2, x3 up to xn values by total number of values. So this is the, like this, we can calculate the mean of a given data set. Okay, one column data or one attribute data of a data set. Clear? And next one is a median. Okay, what is a median? Median is, you need to identify middle value among all the given values. Identification of middle value among all the given values. If you consider the same values, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Assume these are the given number of values. Among these total number of values, which one is the middle value? Obviously, it may be 3. It is 3, right? So now 3 is a median. 3 is a median. For example, if these are here, you may take n is a odd number. If n is a odd number, directly you can calculate. You can calculate what it is. It is a 5, right? So 5 plus 5 number of odd number values are there. For this, n equal to 5. For this, you have one formula. Now n is a odd number, so n equal to n plus 1 by 2. This is the formula to find the median for n equal to n plus 2 by, or n plus 1 by 2. I'll write again here. This is the n plus 1. N plus 1. So now how many number of values we have here? 5. 5 plus 1, 6. 6 by 2 means it's a 3. What is the third position number? It's obviously 3, right? So like this, you can find out the center center value or middle value of the among the given values. If suppose here we have even number of n. Now n value is 6. Now n value is 6. For this, these are the even numbers, right? These are the data set with even numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers are there. Now n value is 6. So how do we find the middle value for this data set? So you can calculate 3 plus, I mean by first sort all the values, then calculate 3 plus 4 and take two middle values, two center values of the given data, then add these two, 3 plus 4 by 2, 3 plus 4 by 2. So like this, you can calculate the center point. This is the calculation of middle value or central value for median if your n has a even value, even number, right? The given data set has even number of values, then we can calculate like this. Take the middle values, middle two values, add those two values and calculate by 2, right? This is the calculation of mean and median here. Then in next slide we are going to we would go for another central tendency measurement, that is called mode. Mode is a one of the measure of a central tendency. Okay, how do we calculate this mode? Okay, for example, now also take some set of values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. These are my values. Okay, these are the values whatever I have. So if you will observe all these values, first of all, you need to sort the given values and you can represent the values in a sorted order. Later, you need to check whether these all are these all are which kind, I mean the data within this data set or represented only one time or multiple number of times. Here each and value represented only one time, right? This kind of representation is called unimodal representation. Unimodal representation. For example, if your data set has, see, two number of 4s are there within your data set. Here, if you check this data, if you see this data set has two 4s, 4 and 4, right? So this kind of data can be treated as the mode is 2 here. The mode is 2. So if this kind of data is called 4 is a now bimodal data set. And if again it is 4 is of 3 times, then mean three times it is repeated 3 times, then this now this 4 is called it's a trimodal. Okay, trimodal representation. Clear? So data sets with 1, 2 or 3 modes are respectively called as unimodal, bimodal and trimodal. First, if the data set doesn't have any kind of repetitions of a number, then that is called unimodal. If one number may be repeated second time, one number may be came 2 times in the same data set, then that is called bimodal. It is came 3 times in the same data set, it is called a trimodal, right? So the data set with two or more modes is a multimodal. Okay, if a data set is said to be a multimodal, then it may have 2 or more modes. You may consider as 2 or more modes as a multimodal. If each data occurs only once, then there is no mode. If the data point is occur only once, then there is no mode here. And if the data is occurs only once, then there is no mode, right? So that kind of data can be represented. That kind of data can be represented by using this diagram. The symmetric data representation is called the unimodal representation. In this unimodal representation, all the values are same, which means mean, median, mode. Mean value, median value and mode value. Those three would given the same result if those values are a unimodal values. Okay, all values result with a single number. I mean all measures would result in a single number, right? And coming to multimodal, which maybe it's a 2 or more modes. Okay, the data it have 2 or more modes is also called as multimodal. If the multimodal data you have, you may get either this kind of a graph or this kind of representation. This kind of representation or this kind of representation. This is called positively skewed data. In positively skewed data, the mode value is less than the mean value. What is the mode value? Mode value is less than the mean value. So then the data is called positive skewed data. And coming to negative skewed data, the mode value is greater than the mean value. Mode value is greater than the mean value, right? This kind of representation is called negatively skewed data here. Okay, so it is for multimodal modes. Okay, Coming to the second measurement, the second measurement is measuring the dispersion of the data. Coming to this, here the data now coming to the second one, measuring the dispersion of data. The dispersion of data can be measured by using range, quantiles, quartiles, percentiles, and IQRs, which means interquartile ranges. Coming to the first one, range. So how do we calculate the range here? The range is a difference between the largest and smallest value within a given data set. Assume this is a data set, given data set. Now how do we calculate the range here? Range R equal to, or range equal to maximum number, maximum value, or largest number. Largest number within this data set is 5, right? 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 here. So how do we calculate the range? Range equal to the difference between the largest number and the smallest number within the given data set is called a range. And coming to the next one, quantile. Quantile is equal sized consecutive sets. What it is? Quantile is a equal sized consecutive sets, which means, for example, here I have one more value 6. Assume this is my data set. 1 to 6 numbers are there. Suppose if I want to divide these 6 numbers into three groups. Okay, group 1, group 2, group 3. So I have divided this total data set into 3 groups. Each group has 2 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, isn't it? So whenever I have divided, the number of groups are 3, each group has the number of units are 2. Okay, so here we can divide the equal sized consecutive sets, the given data into, we can split the given data into number of parts. Each part may have a equal size. Each part may have a equal size. Such kind of measurement is called a quantiles measurement. Coming to quartile measurement. Quartile measurement in the sense, which means this one, third one is quartile measurement. What is the quartile measurement here? It is just if we have some data, the data can be divided into 4 parts, 4 equal parts, then that is called a quartile distribution, right? For example, assume, okay, this is one graph, assume this is your graph. Here, this data can be divided into 4 parts, means 1, or otherwise better to take the values, right? which means you have assume you have 20 rupees. How are you going to divide these 20 rupees into 4 pieces? So each one may get 5 rupees, isn't it? So what are the 4 parts of this 20? Equal number of 4 parts of 20 is each may have 5 rupees, isn't it? This is called quartile. Quartile in the sense 1/4 of a given data. 1/4 of a given data. So you can represent like this also. This is 1/2 median value. This is and right like this you can separate the data. Okay, and coming to the next one is percentile. Percentile in the sense whatever the data you have that can be divided into 100 parts. 100, you may call it 100 quantiles also. You may call 100 quantiles. So then that is called a percentile measurement. And next one is, last one is, not last one, next one is interquartile range. So the interquartile range IPR, it is also called as IQR. Interquartile range is also called as IQR. This IQR is a measurement of Q3 minus Q1. What is Q3 and what is Q1 here? What is Q3 and what is Q1 in the sense? Okay, here the data can be divided into 4 parts. It is assumed this is part 1. Part 1 is represented using Q1 and part 2 is represented by using Q2 and part 3 is represented by using Q3. Okay, here we have 4 parts. Assume the Q3 is 75% minus Q2 is 50%, sorry, Q1 is 25%. 75 minus 25 means it obviously 50. What is the IQR value? IQR value is 50. Okay, why? Because IQR equal to Q3 minus Q1. IQR equal to, interquartile range equal to Q3 minus Q1. Now we are going to calculate the difference between Q3 and Q1. What is Q3 and what is Q1 here? Suppose if you have some symmetric data graph, within this graph, if you can divide this one into 4 parts. First part is represented by using Q1, second part is represented by using Q2, third part is represented by using Q3. Assume first part is 25%, second part is 50%, and third part is automatically 75%. Why? Because here you need to divide total data into 4 parts, right? Equal parts. So one single part is called a one quartile, right? Here you can divide the total data into 4 quartiles, right? After dividing data into 4 quartiles, you need to calculate the formula of Q3 minus Q1. Finally, you will get the result of 50. Okay, that is the calculation of IQR here. Okay, till now we have discussed about range and IQR. Okay, remaining 2 are there. What is those? 5 numbered summary, and second one is variance and standard deviation. We need to discuss these 2 also. Okay, till now we have discussed range, quantile, quartile, percentiles, and interquartile range. Okay, now not only this, here under the measures of data dispersion, here we have more 2 measures. One is 5 number summary, second one is variance and standard deviation. Okay, coming to the 5 measurements summary. 5 number, this is called 5 number summary. What is 5 numbers here? It contains 5 values minimum. It contains 5 values minimum. One is 5 values. One is minimum, second one is Q1, third one is median, fourth one is Q3, and fifth one is maximum. Okay, these are the 5 values. These 5 numbers are represented as a box plot in graphical format. This is the box plot. This, what is the graph name here? This is a box plot. These 5 numbers representation is this box plot format here. Box plot data is represented with a box here. Okay, so how do we identify these five values? Are, this is the minimum value, this is the minimum value, and this is quartile 1, median, quartile 2, coming to this maximum value. If you'll observe this box plot, everywhere, if you'll observe this one also, okay, this is minimum value, quarter 1, median quarter 2, quarter 3, finally maximum value. Each and every box here has the 5 values minimum. Not only that, here you can identify some other data points, some other here. This is one data point and this is one data point. What are these data points here? These are the outliers. These are the outlier data points. Right. So how do we calculate? Okay. How do we calculate the outliers? Which means this is the formula for the calculation of outlier, that is 1.5 into IQR. IQR value already we have calculated in previous example, right? That result is 50. 75 minus 25 is equal to 50. 50 into 1.5, 50 into 1.5. Like this, you need to calculate. If this value is greater than Q3, if this value is, okay, greater than Q3, then you can represent the points above the maximum like this. These are called the outliers. Okay, this is called a 5 number summary. And coming to next one, variance and standard deviation. Here the variance and standard deviation, as we know that, okay, the variance, let us consider the values are x1, x2, x3 and so on xn be a set of n observed value or observations of x. The variance formula is sigma square equal to 1 by n into sigma I equal to 1 to n of xi minus x bar whole square. This is the formula for variance. After calculating the variance, now we need to perform the square root of the variance is called a standard deviation. Okay, if you have total number of observations, which means total number of values, and each and every value, addition of each and every value, finally you may take the mean value. Okay, x bar in the sense mean value, and you should substitute all the values within this formula, then you can get the variance sigma square. Okay, after calculating this sigma square, then we should go for calculation of a standard deviation here. Standard deviation in the sense, just it's a square root of, just a square root of sigma square. All right. And this is the second one. And coming to the third one is graphical displays of basic statistical data, which means how are we going to represent the statistics data in the form of graphs. In the form of graphs, how do we represent the statistics data in the form of graphs. So here we can use multiple number of graphs, as we know that those are bar chart, pie charts, line graphs. Okay, and just now we have discussed one more plot. That plot is box plot. Box plot in the sense under the 5 number calculation, here we have discussed about box plot. And after that, by using histograms also, you can represent the statistics data, and also quantile plots, quantile plots, scatter plots. These are the different representation, graphical representation of a basic statistical data. Okay, so let us see the new ones. How we can represent histograms and quantile plots and quantile plots, as well as scatter plots. Okay, coming to this slide, here here there is a representation of here we have quantile plot representation. What it is a quantile plot representation. A quantile plot is a simple and effective way to have a first look at the univariate data distribution. Okay, this plot has Q1 has 0.25, Q2 has 0.50, and it is also median, and 0.75 as the quantile. Quantile in the sense, already as we discussed in earlier. So earlier, the total data space is divided into 4 equal parts. Okay, the total data coming under 4 equal parts. First part is Q1, 1 by 4th. Second part, half is median. Third part, 1 by 3 is 0.75, right? This is the quantile plot representation. Here, wherever you will find this 0.25 means here at this place, at this position, you can represent the Q1 value, and at this position median value, and at this position you can represent a Q3 value. Q1, Q2, Q3 value within the given plot. This is plot, okay, within the given plot. Like this, we can draw the quantile plot for the unit price of data of all electronics. One side you may represent unit price, second side you may represent F value. So based on these two, if you can represent all the points, then wherever you can find out 0.25 value, it corresponds to Q1, as well as 0.500 value Q2, 0.750 Q3. Okay, this is a quantile plot. And coming to the next one, quantile plot. So quantile plot means it is used to represent the values. Okay, these values are assumed if suppose a single item can be the price of the single item should be changed to one store to another store. So what is the difference of these points are representing the difference of rates of a single some items within the stores. Assume like that. Then like this, in this way you are going to represent a quantile plot here. Okay, in statistics, a quantile plot is a portability plot, which is a graphical method for comparing two portability distributions by plotting their quantiles against each other. Okay, if we have two items, this is the same items in different shops. What are the rates representation in this graph? How do we represent the rates, rates and the rates difference in between the two shops should be represented in by using this quantile and quantile plots. And coming to the next one, histogram. Okay, this is the representation of the histogram here. So histograms are represented like this. Okay, this is unit prices and these are the count of items sold. Okay, suppose one item with 40 to 59 rupees. Okay, so that item 300 pieces are sold. Related to regarding that item. In the same manner, so 60 to 79, 79 rupees items are 4,000, sorry, not hundreds, thousand. 4,000 pieces are sold. Okay, sold in the unit price of 60 to 79 rupees. Okay, so like this, if you can represent your data by using histograms. If the attribute is numeric, then the histogram is preferred. Okay, remember one more point here. If the attribute is numeric, then the term histogram is preferred, which means it is used for the categorical kind of data. And finally, here we are going to see the scatter plots. This is the representation of scatter plots. This plot in the within this scatter plots, all the items should be represented by using dots. Okay, so we can, this is the exact representation of a scatter plot, right? It is the one of the most effective graphical method for determining if there appears to be the relationship clusters of a point or outliers between two numerical attributes here. Okay, so this is the representation of scatter plot. By this, the representations of graphs are over. Okay, this is about basic statistical descriptions. Thank you.